my freshman year. But I transferred and now I go to school at NAU and I play basketball for the NAU women's basketball team.
Well, awesome.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
when you graduated, is it 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Okay.
Dang.
Yeah, because I remember seeing you play that year because I know you guys won the state championship against Windrock.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess can you try to inform everybody, I guess, sort of your journey at the high school, I guess, from when you started to graduating high school, kind of what your journey in basketball was.
Okay, well, for coming into high school, I first attended Flagstaff High School because the plant shut down and I had to move from Page, and that kind of started. And then we moved back to Page for my junior year of high school, and I started playing for Buka, and that'd be funny if you guys bring her on here. She could tell you all about it. When I came in as a junior, I kind of like had an attitude issue. I was arguing with my coaches a lot because, you know, I was really good, and I knew I was good, and that was kind of like the problem. So I didn't really get along with my teammates and all of that, and I ended up getting hurt my junior year of high school, and I only played 6 games that year. I hurt my lower back, and I had to go through physical therapy and all that. And so when I came back from my senior year, you know, I talked to Buka and we made up, and I ended up having a really great senior year. You know, we won state. I was conference player of the year, and I got along with all my teammates, and it was just really fun. But going to college, it's really different. Like, especially for my freshman year, I went all the way across the country to Maine at a school called Husson University.
What town is that in?
It's in Bangor, Maine. Yeah, it's a really, really small town. And I really didn't like it all too much because 9 months out of the year, it's winter. Like, and the snow is like, like so much snow. I've never seen that much snow in my life. And my family couldn't really come down a lot, so I didn't really get to see them. So it was really hard for me, especially like being out there by myself, and like I didn't know anyone. And basketball part, it wasn't really as competitive as I wanted it to be, and so I really didn't enjoy that part as much either. So
That was a Division three school.
a
right?
Division III school.
Uh-huh.
But Maine was a special case because they do it a lot different down there, basketball-wise. Like, and nobody really knew what a Native American was, so
Really?
it's kind of like a culture shock for me.
Uh-huh.
Like, and so when basketball season ended, I knew that I didn't want to come back to Maine. So I ended up coming home, not knowing what my next move was. And my sister ended up going to NAU. So I was like, maybe, you know, I'll just go to NAU. And I didn't really know if I was going to play basketball or not, or continue playing anyways. And my dad was like, you should just try out for the team. You should just try out for the team. And I was like, but like, you know, it kind of didn't seem like a possibility for me coming from a Division III school, especially. And during that time, I was kind of like going through like a slump a little bit. And so I had low self-confidence and low self-esteem, and I was like, whatever, I got nothing to lose. And so I took that bet in September of 2025, and I ended up making the team. And yeah, ever since then, basketball has been like a learning experience for me. Yes.
Yeah, well, awesome. So what is the biggest difference from the transitioning from high school to college level?
Definitely the the pace of the game, and like being able to make faster decisions and recognizing when people are open and recognizing what defense they're playing, you know, and recognizing all the mismatches like quicker. And like the coaching is so intense. Like so intense. Like you got to go into practice and give 100% mentally, 100% physically, and it just takes everything that you have, like especially like what you eat during the day and how much sleep you're getting. It's like a full-time job. Like for practice, we're usually in the gym for like 7 hours a day. Like
Wow.
we have practice for 3 hours, and then we have weights, and then we have film, and all of that totals up to 7 hours. So it's like basically a job.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You said you didn't want to be in Arizona your first year out of high school, right? You wanted to go out
Yeah.
of state, you said.
I really wanted to go out of state because I played basketball since I was like in 4th grade, I think. And I saw everyone who was like going to school around here, and it was
Yeah.
just basically like the same girls that I've been playing against my whole life. And I was just like, no, I can't. I don't want to go to a school in AZ. Like, I want to go.
Did you have options like other schools that you could have probably?
Yeah,
Right.
I know I had offers from Eastern Arizona, Pima, Scottsdale, what's that other one? Chandler. Like, I could have went to any of those other schools. Especially when I came back, I kind of looked into it.
Mhm.
But the scholarships that I received, like for my academics, only funded 4-year schools. So I was like, dang.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So for, I guess, one of the things I've never played college sports, obviously. I was, I guess in hindsight, a very mediocre high school player. At the next level, there's a lot more thinking to the game, right? A lot more thinking, a lot more, because I've always imagined that in high school, your coach sort of, in a way, kind of does a lot of the thinking for you. They develop the game plan without maybe a whole lot of explanation, because possibly the explanation might be too much to think about, because they want you to go out there and to perform. And if you're kind of caught in the middle between, this is what the plan says, and there's not a whole lot of, because obviously there are times when you have to deviate from that plan. There are maybe situations where it opens up where you can go ahead and execute some kind of play, but there's always some kind of structure and strategy behind the play. And so would you say that's sort of one of the bigger differences between high school and college?
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember making the team. The first thing that they handed me was a playbook like that big, and they were like, all right, if you want to participate in practice and get in the runs, you got to learn these plays. And that was the thing that I struggled with the most. Like, I would just get out there and they would be like, call something, and my mind would just go blank. And they would be like, oh, Alyssa, get off the court. I'd be like, oh, dang. So yeah, and I know that Buka really wanted us to also run plays, and that's kind of like what I struggled with a lot my junior year too. So it's like, if your coach tells you to run the play, run the play.
Because I've always felt that one of the problems here in northeastern Arizona is that I think a lot of the parents and possibly some of the players don't really understand that part of basketball, because we were sitting there, my cousin and I were sitting there watching some of the games yesterday, and we were watching them play, and one of the things I've noticed was that really all they did was shoot 3-pointers and layups, and obviously they're not teammates, like official teammates, they're friends and everything, and it's more of it looked to me like more of a pickup game style thing where they're kind of just trying to score and win. But translating that to the regular season, it seems like a lot of these players kind of get stuck in that mode, and they want to just play like it's a summer tournament where we just pass the ball around, shoot the ball, maybe play some defense. And then when they get to back to their school and their coach wants to be structured and have some kind of plan behind it, either some players have issues transitioning with that, or parents have issues transitioning that because they see their child play all summer. Hey, they scored all these points. They did well, in these tournaments. But then when they come to the school for the actual season, all of a sudden they're not as productive because their coach wants them to do a certain thing. And you mentioned that was a struggle for you as well. Do you kind of understand that now?
Yeah, I do. I think like the hardest part is transitioning back from AAU to high school basketball. And it's like, you can't just keep dribble the ball the whole time for 10 seconds. Like, that's not what you do in high school basketball. And, like, you have to, like, move the ball, like, and you can't, like, pass one time and then shoot like you do in AAU. It's like you got to pass, and wait till the ball gets to you again or whatever you got to do, But, yeah, definitely, like, being able to, like, be a team player and, like, create plays and, like, break down the defense as a team with all 5 players is definitely a struggle in, like, AAU basketball. Like,
You're playing against clock too in high school
yes,
too. Yeah.
in high school.
So do you have any advice for any high school players who may be getting phone calls or letters from colleges? Do you have any sort of advice? Maybe they're juniors this year. What kind of advice that you could give them to sort of help them get ready to transition over?
It's going to be tough, and it's going to be nothing like you expect, and nothing is going to go your way at first, but it's all a part of the learning process, It's all a journey, and, like, just like Kobe said, like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So you gotta, 90% of it is going to be bad, but you keep going for the 10% that's good, and it's like you gotta learn to love the bad so that you can keep going, because just because things aren't going your way, it's like you just have to, like, keep going and just be happy. Because what I've learned is, like, don't pay attention to the results. Like, if you're too scared to fail, then you're not going to be able to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of, like, don't worry about the results. Like, just keep going and just keep pushing and just keep smiling. That's it.
Wow. So I know we had Noah Brown on a few months ago.
Oh.
And one of the questions I asked him was about diet. Now, he mentioned that he went to a smaller college, so diet was basically on him because the school, I guess, really didn't have, since they're a smaller school, they really didn't have funds to help him. Because normally when I look at TikTok videos or something of like a Division I, like a Texas football program, they show the players will show videos of how the school feeds them. They have all this stuff. Was that your experience at Maine, and how is it now at NAU?
At Maine, there wasn't really anyone to help with, like, your nutrition and stuff like that. But there is definitely at NAU, my coaches told me that I have to gain 10 to 15 pounds for next season. So, I got with a dietitian, and they gave me a meal plan for 4 meals and 1 shake a day. And I'm going to start that this summer, and they're kind of, like, helping me, like, find mass gaining supplements and, like, all of this different stuff, and it's really cool.
How was your diet
Before
in high school when you came over?
in high school,
What was like a typical game day meal for you?
in high school, my favorite place was RD's. So every game day, I would go to RD's for lunch, and I would get 2 bean and cheese burritos with medium fries and 2 fry sauce.
And what's RD's?
You guys, have you guys been to Page?
I've been to Page, but
I've been to Page, but never really ate a whole lot of it. Just KFC over there.
Shout out RD's. It's like it's the best place to eat in Page, in my opinion, after Birdhouse.
So you would have that, and that prepare you for the state
For the
championship
game,
games. And
yo,
all that,
that's all I needed. Game days, bean and cheese burrito.
Is that Caitlin's favorite now too?
No, Katie's different, man.
So transitioning to the college game now, how important is diet?
It's everything. Like, it helps help you keep up with classes. It helps you keep up with the workouts, and the workouts are so intense. Like, you definitely need to eat something before you go into those workouts, because I remember I didn't eat something before one of my workouts, and I got so lightheaded I couldn't even finish the practice.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh.
So paying attention to what you're eating and making sure you're getting 3 meals in a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, is extremely important.
Now, I understand that probably nutrition is probably the hardest thing for athletes up here in northeastern Arizona. Not only because of the cost, but just having the food available, high quality food available up here is an issue too. I mean here in Holbrook, all we have is just Safeway, right?
Yeah.
And I guess up on the reservation, they only have is Bashes, really. I think Winter Rock, Chinley, they have
Yeah.
Bashes.
Kaibato Market.
Here's their market. So, I always felt for young student athletes that are serious about trying to make it to the next level. I've always encouraged them to try to explore trying to optimize their nutrition because obviously, like I said, me not being a athlete, professional or college athlete myself, I've sort of from just seeing videos and professional players and talking about how important nutrition is for them. I think the rumor was always that LeBron James spent $1 million a year on his body. I'm sure he knows. I'm sure it might be a little more. I don't know, but for him, that's something he has to do, right? But for younger players, and it's hard too. I mean, I'm on a diet right now myself, and it's definitely hard. So I understand how difficult it is for them. As far as thinking about the game, do you have any advice for younger players, college players, or high school players?
There's always something that you can do to get better. And that's a good question. Just have fun. Like, don't compare yourself to other people, because I feel like that's what everyone does now, like compares themselves to somebody else. And that just takes like the joy out of everything, at least for me, So it's like, just focus on yourself and just keep your head down and just keep getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what you can do and you know what your potential is, and you don't gotta listen to anybody else. Like, you just gotta believe in yourself and bet on yourself and get better every day.
Mm-hmm. What about watching game film?
Oh, that's a big thing in college basketball. Before practice every day, we would have at least an hour or 2 hour film session. And before we came in, they would quiz us on the scout. And they would be like, this is your player, you got to study him. Then they would ask us a couple of questions about it. What kind of defense the team plays? Who's the weakest defender? Who's the shooter? Who's the point guard? Who's the center? Who gets the most rebounds? Those are the type of stuff that we would have to come into in the game or into the film session. Yes.
How was it in high school? Did you not? There was no game film, or you would maybe you had it, but you guys never really understood what you were looking for.
We had it, but we didn't really like watch it like how I do now. Like, it wasn't as like detailed. It was just like, oh, this player is the main scorer, and we're gonna watch and see what kind of plays they run and stuff like that.
When you were out there in Maine, did you have any of the native basketball players? Anybody?
Nope.
Athletes? No.
Not in Maine. And some of my teammates on the NAU team, they never met a Native American before.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, the NAU has a few Native American players, right, for other teams too, like volleyball and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what's your plan this coming season then?
Well, I just finished spring training, and I'm really excited for this season because last season I came in and I didn't get to do the summer training. I didn't get to do anything before that. I kind of just jumped in there with the season already starting and all the girls already ready for the season. I had to do a lot of catching up and all of that. But this season I'm coming, and I'm really excited to see what I can do.
Yeah. What's your coach's name?
Laura Dink.
Oh, Dink.
Laura Dinkins.
Yeah, the natives on the team right now?
No.
You're the only one, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they are looking to recruit some natives now, yes.
Wow.
And we're looking to have a camp in October or August.
Is that a camp for
Basketball.
just anybody or
Just for anybody, yeah.
high school players?
In Page, yes.
Oh, in Page.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, they're gonna come down. They're gonna help me out.
Oh, nice. That's NAU's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When is that?
It's either gonna be in August, September, or October.
Okay.
But I'll let you guys know.
Yeah. Let us know. We'll post it, and I like to get Abby involved in there. She can do some stuff with Caitlin or something.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Would you say that Booker really helped you get ready for college? Because she played college too, right?
Yeah.
She played college ball.
Yeah, she really did. She really helped me remember how important the team is, the team aspect of basketball is, and she really kind of like reined me back a lot in my senior year, but I really understand like why she did it now.
Mm-hmm.
Because the same thing is happening right now, you know, as I'm in college, but it's easier for me to understand, you know, and easier for me to do because Buka did that to me already.
Wow. What about as far as like weightlifting and training and stuff like that? How big is that for you?
I really love weightlifting. You know, I did a little bit my senior year in high school, but it's nothing like how it is at NAU. Like, for our spring training, you know, we're doing everything until failure, and it's like 15 plus reps. And, you know, I was sore every day. And then we had to go in and do the basketball workout for 1 hour, which was so intense. It was just running, and then we had conditioning, and it was just a lot. But I really do enjoy weightlifting, and I love getting stronger.
I feel like for us, for natives, that like the physical aspect of it and like strength training and all that is something that we always lacked in. It seemed like for us natives.
Yeah.
So one of my biggest peas, I guess, for kids is to try to weightlift, try to strength train, and that's what I have Abby doing. She does push-ups all the time and things like that, and you know, people don't know it, but she's actually pretty strong. Like she's for her weight to strength
she
ratio.
can shoot that ball pretty far out.
Yeah,
too.
that's why she's lifting some. Don't seem like it, but she is. Yeah. So yeah. So I encourage like she said, encourage all these kids to strength train as much as they can, man, because it's important, especially when it comes to like transition from junior high to high school too. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Let me see. All right, sorry about that. So a viewer just told us that there was no audio. However, I was recording on this, so
Okay.
I will release an audio version of this, audio only version.
Cool.
So we'll just have to do it like this for now. It's a good thing I checked the chat because we would have never known that there was no audio this whole entire time. But for the viewers out there, again, like I said, I did record. I'm actively recording an audio version of this, so you won't miss the whole thing. Just probably the first, 20 minutes of it. But anyways, so yeah, sorry about that. So what was some of the, okay, so when I think about your play in high school, I think about when you guys played Windrock, right? At least twice during the regular season, and then I remember going to the conference championship game or the tournament, and you guys played them again, and they beat you guys in the conference, the regional tournament. That's what it was, yeah. And so that was a good game, and when you guys ended up meeting the state championship again, I think at the time I was sort of leaning towards Windrock at the time, but going back into that, can you kind of just sort of reminisce about that last little run there?
Yes. So we came off of that loss from Window Rock, and I was devastated, man, because I really thought we were gonna win that. Like, we should have won it, but I just remember like the atmosphere of the gym, and like when we came out, everyone was booing us coming out the tunnel, and I was like, man, like I've never experienced anything like that ever again, and I kind of miss it, like a gym like that full and like everybody just so into the game. And coming off of that loss from Window Rock, like everyone was like devastated. You know, we were really hurt by it, and I knew like when we got to the state championship tournament, I was like, I wasn't even thinking about winning. I was kind of just like, I'm just gonna do my best. You know, I want us all to go out there, and I just want us all to do our best. And you know, everyone was like really locked in. You know, I've never seen my teammates like that before, and it ended up being, you know, in our favor, but it was really cool. Yeah.
That year they didn't have the copper bracket that year, right?
They came out with that after. I was like, dang, like they could have had that when I was playing. Like,
Do you feel like that's an advantage for kids, or you think like that's
yeah, I
it's a
do.
good thing?
I think it is an advantage because I feel like a lot of the upper divisions get a lot more college looks than the lower divisions do. So I definitely feel like it's more of an advantage.
Where do you guys rank going into that finals? I can't remember.
I think we were either 1 or 2.
When the Rock was 1 or 2 too.
Yeah. But I think Winter Rock was at the top. No, we were at the top because we wore white. So I think we were 1 and Winter Rock was 2.
What about how do you feel about like summer ball? Like, do you feel like that's pretty important? Like off season tournaments and all that?
Yeah, I feel like it is because, you know, that's when you get to know your teammates and that's when you get to establish that flow, like, you know, and getting to know your teammates and just like getting to know your coach especially, and like the plays and the system that you want to run with your team and stuff like that.
Okay. Who did you run with for high school? Like, who was your summer team?
Running gun.
Running gun?
For AAU, yeah.
All right. How would you say how was Coach Ephraim for you?
Coach Ephraim was a great coach for me. He really encouraged me a lot, and he encouraged me to like come out of my shell a lot. Cause when like I'm kind of like quiet, like around other people that I don't really know, and he really just like encouraged me to like talk more and to like be more of a real point guard.
A lot more vocal, huh?
Yeah. He's a great coach, though.
How long did you play for him?
2 years, I think. I started my junior year.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You said you went to school in Flagstaff, right? You said your freshman and sophomore year? Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know you went to school there.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't.
Who's your coach there?
Tyrone Johnson.
Yeah.
He's still coaching there, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing pretty good. They won some state championships, didn't they? I think recently.
Yeah, they got 3, I think.
Yeah. Got a good team.
So when you were in Maine, who were some of the schools that you guys played?
We definitely only played schools in Maine, which I thought was kind of weird. Like we played Maine Maritime, we played the U Maine Farmington, and then we played a couple other schools that I can't remember the name of, but they definitely had U Maine in it.
Mm-hmm. And which town did you say you were in again?
Bangor, Maine.
Bangor, Maine. Is that northern or southern Maine?
Northern.
Northern. I've never really left Arizona, so I don't really know.
Did you play any teams from like Canada, Nova Scotia, or anything like that?
No, we didn't. We didn't do a lot of traveling.
Okay. Too much snow, probably.
Yes, bro.
Do you have lobster over there?
Yeah. I think I had a lobster roll. It was really good. Highly recommend.
Yeah. What was it? A small town? A small town college?
Yeah, very small.
Wait, I'm assuming Maine's very rural, so there's
so many trees.
The Providence is Rhode Island. What's the capital of Maine?
I think it's Portland.
Portland, Maine.
I'm not sure. I'll have to Google.
I was tested on this in elementary school, and I can't remember. So I guess coming back to NAU now, is it the Big Sky Conference?
Yep, Big Sky.
For the Big Sky, what is that, like Montana State or Montana?
Oh yeah, Montana and Montana State.
Montana and Montana State. And where do you guys play? Is basketball played in the Sky Dome there, or is it played somewhere else?
It's played in the Roll Center during volleyball season, and then we move into the Sky Dome after volleyball season's over, and football season too.
So right now it's the off season, right?
Yep. So we're back in they have this high performance center for athletes, and they got a gym in there. So we're in there right now.
So there's like a big difference between NAU and your previous school, right?
Yes.
What is the competition?
Way better. Like, it's funny because I was saying that, Maine was like not competitive at all. And then coming to NAU, I remember being on the phone with my dad and I was like, Dad, this is like so competitive. Like, everyone is like better than me. Like, everyone was so much better than me. And he was like, didn't you say that Maine wasn't competitive enough and now it's too competitive for you? I was like, man, you're right.
Wow.
So did you play? Were you part of the team this past season?
Yes, I was.
How did they do?
We didn't do too well this year, but we did make it into the conference tournament, but we lost out the first round.
And I guess usually for Division I AA schools, they basically have to win their conference tournament or their is it conference or the WAC conference? Is that what it is? Western Athletic Conference. Okay.
Yeah.
So they have to win their WAC conference tournament to get a bid to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know who represented the WAC this year?
Idaho Vandals.
Idaho Vandals.
Idaho. Yes.
And I'm assuming they were really good for. How far did they go in the tournament?
They lost the first round, I think. Yeah.
And is Grand Canyon part of the WAC as well? Grand Canyon University.
Yes, I think so. They're not in the Big Sky, but I think they are in the WAC. Yeah.
Wow.
I think.
How does NAU work out travel? Is it mostly by bus or because Noah was telling us for him it was it by van or by bus, right?
Bus,
they had a bus.
So we would drive down to Phoenix and we would fly out of Phoenix. Yeah. But then when we got there, we had to travel in vans.
When you got to
our destination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So during the regular season, can you just kind of go through a typical day?
Like a typical travel day, or
we'll do both. Typical practice day and then a typical travel. Typical practice day, typical home game day, and typical travel day.
Okay. So I would go to class that I have at 9:10, and then I had a class at 11. Then I would go do a guard workout, which was required at noon. Then I would go to my other class, and then we had film at 2:30. And then we would do practice from 3:30 to sometimes 6, sometimes 6:30. And then we would have weights after that.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, they have recovery facilities available. So, you do recovery and you'd probably be out by like 9, 8:30, 9.
That's in the regular season too, right?
Yeah, regular season.
What about game days? What you guys do on game days?
Game days, we have shoot around like 2.5 hours. Okay, so no. We would have shoot around like a couple hours before the game. Like a long time before the game, actually. So we have shoot around like in the morning or in the afternoon, and then we would have to be at the game an hour and a half before, and then show up. Yeah, that was about it. Shoot around usually lasts about an hour to an hour and a half.
Your position was a guard for the team.
Point guard.
Who's the tallest player in the team? How tall was she?
We don't really have like a true post player, but I don't know how tall she is, but her name is Layla, and she's number 7, but I'm not sure how tall she is, but she's really tall. She's way taller than me.
And then for a typical travel day?
Okay, so we would normally leave from Flag around like 6 a.m., 7, and then drive all the way down to Phoenix, get on our flight, and however long that takes, then we would get off and wait like an hour for like our rentals. And then we would go down, chill at the hotel for an hour, go to practice for 2 hours, come back, watch film for however long that takes, an hour, 2 hours, and then go to sleep. And then the next day we would have shoot around before the game. So we normally like travel like a day before the game, travel down there a day before the game. And then the next morning we would have shoot around in the morning and then film after and along with the scout quiz, and then show up to the game an hour and a half before.
Oh. What's a scout quiz?
It's kind of like, so they hand us like a scout of the other team, like with all the players, and like, because the coaches will like watch film on them and then write down like what they do, what their signature move is, or like what position they play and what kind of plays they run, what kind of defense they run. Like it'll be 99% man-to-man or like 10% zone, you know. And we would have to remember who the key players were and stuff like that.
Wow.
And I guess during that time, is it true? Like in some of the videos I've seen, they give you like a lunchbox or something. Do they give you guys a lunchbox when you travel?
No, but I have seen those, but we don't get those, no. But they do provide like breakfast, lunch, and dinner for us.
So how do you manage practice time and academic time?
That's definitely tough, but I'd say just like right when you get your homework, just start working on it. Like I get out of practice and I go home and I just immediately start doing homework. Or like sometimes during like my lunch or like when my classes get canceled, that's when I would do my homework like before practice, because I know I would be too tired to do it after. But it's definitely tough. Like time management is very important.
And because when I was in college, I remember at the beginning of the semester, whatever class it would be, the professor would say they would basically have to get, for the student athletes, they would have to get special clearances or whatever for like if an exam was coming up, because they obviously would get an extension for that if it conflicted with game time, right? Does that, I guess I would imagine if you had to travel far that sometimes your exam time would have to be pushed way back. Is that?
Oh yeah. You just have to like stay in good contact with your teachers, and they have like this institutional letter that you can email to your professors, to where like they have to cooperate with you, you know, and so you can take their exam earlier or you could take it later, and they would kind of just have to like work with you around that schedule.
Okay. Before the podcast, you had mentioned that you were interested in doing a vlog.
Oh yeah.
What exactly do you want to vlog? Just your typical day in the life of you at NU?
Just like a typical day in the life, like as a D1 athlete and like as a college student, you know, and like what I do on my days off and stuff like that.
Wow. Do you have an iPhone?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You're halfway there. As you can see, we're doing all of this on iPhones as well. I guess, and I guess this could be useful for those people who might be interested in doing a podcast as well. Mac and I started off very basic, just on two outdated computers with cameras on it. And we sort of just kind of stumbled through it, trying to figure out, I think our biggest issue at first was audio. And I ended up getting this setup here. This is the Rodecaster Duo. It's a smaller version compared to the larger one, but this device allows us to have audio like this. And so once we had the audio, the next issue we had was video. And I think at the time we had iPhones, but since our computer was so outdated, it didn't really interface that well with it. So I ended up having to get a new computer for it in order to not only maintain the processing for having multiple windows up and also configuring or managing all this stuff. But once we got past that, then it was, I think YouTube was a great resource for us for trying to figure out how to even do a small time production like this. And we originally started with Riverside as a hosting site, and we still have it. I just haven't used it yet. But eventually, I heard about OBS, which is what we're using now, which helps us to do things like this. Like if you look here at the screen here, you know, transitioning between camera angles. I just spilled my drink. That's okay. Transitioning between camera angles, and allows you to just kind of do things like that. So yeah, if you're interested in doing a vlog or doing some kind of some time of more video intensive vlogging, you know, those are some of the resources available. Most of it's, I think the biggest expense is probably just getting the audio equipment.
Yeah.
If you have a MacBook,
Oh, I do have a MacBook.
that one should be pretty easy. The processing speed for that should be pretty easy to do that. Or you can even just get, well, I plug this thing, like we've done some live shows out and about, and I've just plugged this into my iPhone, and then I bought a microphone, a handheld microphone, and I was able to use that in the field with multiple microphones.
We've done interviews at tournaments, some of the tournaments locally.
Really?
Yeah, some of the coaches and players and stuff like that too. So we're trying to get more out there, I guess. Yeah.
So yeah, technology has come a long way. So yeah, it's definitely doable. And if it's just, or you can even just get like the I know Rode, this company does sell a wireless mic that works with the iPhone. So you could just set it up just the way these phones are set up, and maybe just get a light like that, and you can record videos of yourself vlogging. So it can get pretty simple like that. For video editing, I'm sure you have Final Cut Pro on your MacBook. It's pretty easy to learn. If you want to put out content fast in a more efficient way, I would recommend Riverside. That's what we used originally. You could record directly through your iPhone directly to it, and then there's a lot of features where it can create shorts for you. So it'll take your video and cut it up into pieces that are YouTube Shorts or Instagram Shorts, and it'll do it for you. And you can just choose which one that you want to use, and you can quickly upload that.
Okay.
So the only issue we had with that was just the cost. Costs, I guess for us wasn't that big of an issue, but I was just kind of looking for an alternative so we don't have to pay their subscription all the time. But I think we're going to go back to that because I did like the feature of creating shorts for us instead of me having to try to create it ourselves. So yeah, if it's all the tools are there, you know, I think you have most of the tools. I would just get a good mic, whether it's a good wireless mic, or if you want to start a podcast with your friends or your fellow basketball players, you know, getting something simple as this, and you can have it going pretty quickly. So, I guess we have a few more minutes. What is your impression now of the current state of high school basketball since you've left?
I feel like there's kind of been like a dip in like skill level. I feel like I don't really want to say it, but like I kind of really feel like a lot more players aren't like as experienced and like aren't like playing as much AAU. I feel like, or maybe they're playing too much AAU. I'm not sure, but it's like you can tell which players do play in AAU and which players don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, you know, we need a lot more. We need to like kind of like, I feel like when I was playing, there was like a lot of people who I knew who had a bunch of teams like in Page that were like playing over the summers. And now, like, there's nobody playing over the summers. Like, it's hard to find a team that, with people that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. One of the coaches that I've talked to, he sort of had some criticisms about the summer basketball program. And I understand what he's talking about, and I could see it too. That I think the summer basketball tournaments, like the one that we had here in Holbrook, I think it's great if you're like in elementary school,
Yeah.
junior high. But I think when you get to the high school level, I feel like you should maybe spend more time doing more individual skill developing, as opposed to just playing a pickup game
Just
style.
playing every
Yeah.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you do get into a lot of bad habits, and the 3-point shooting, I think, has gotten out of hand. What are your thoughts on? Okay, let me just explain it this way. Watching basketball this past season, especially for girls basketball, there wasn't a whole lot of 2-point shooting. It was either 3-pointers or layups. And I feel like a lot of young players are leaving a lot of points out there because they're just opting to shoot 3-pointers instead of 2-pointers.
I feel like finding a player with a good jump shot is a lot harder to find these days.
Exactly. Yep. Same with boys too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the players about that yesterday, and that is missing.
And I would say definitely the professional basketball has definitely influenced them a lot.
Yes.
I watched the Suns game this past the first 3 playoff games,
Yeah.
and there was no rebounding, and it seemed like every other shot was a 3-pointer for both teams. And I think the NBA, and I think everybody, most people think this, especially if you're older than me, that the professional game has changed so much that it's just unwatchable.
Yeah.
College still has a semblance of the original, the game that everybody likes to watch, right?
Yes. Especially March Madness.
What do you think now? So here's another thought too that we've talked about in this podcast a lot. If you look back 40 years ago, we had a lot of Native American players that making that jump to college basketball for the first time. Some of them going Division I, for example, for the first time. These were like first generation players who made that jump. And then it started slowly building over time. I wouldn't say it would build a lot, but it kind of got a little bit more common. There were a lot more, especially on the girls basketball side, a lot more players going to the next level.
Oh, yeah.
And now in the new era of social media and with the creation of NIL, I guess I would say there's not a whole lot of players who might be able to take advantage of their name, image, and likeness. But I think there are a few, like for example, Layla Curtis would be one that I could think of that would be a good example of probably maybe being one of the first new generation of players who can make that transition and to start getting compensated for their name, image, and likeness. Have you, I mean, since being at NAU, do you see anybody taking advantage of that?
I know.
I'm sure it's not big, but I'm sure there could be a few that.
We had this player. Her name was Naomi White, and she was like #1 freshman, leading the freshmen in scoring for a while. And she transferred out, but I feel like she was more looking for like where she was gonna get paid the most versus where she would fit in the most at. And it became all about money instead of like, where am I going to fit in? What system's best for me and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess there's politics to that. And because everybody's got to do, what they feel that they need to do, right?
Yeah.
And I understand because for professional sports, money at the end of the rainbow isn't guaranteed for everybody. Even if you're a top tier player at the very top, it's not guaranteed. There's so many things that could happen on your way to that end, right? And I know that it's a big problem in college sports, especially college football, right? So, and I understand that. I just think as we move into this, especially for a player today as popular as Layla Harris, I think that's something she needs to start thinking about, is because at some point basketball is going to end. And at the same time, there are people out there, different companies, whoever, that are, wanting to make money off of players. Right. So I think it's good for these players to start thinking about, these popular players today, to start thinking about how they're going to navigate that situation. And from what I can tell, and one of the first easiest things you could do is just keeping your name out of the headlines in negative ways, right? And trying to have a positive image online, right? How do you feel about NIL?
I feel like it's kind of like affecting basketball in a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot more people focused on the wrong things. But I also feel like it's a good thing at the same time, but just not as positive as people think.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't really know much about other than what I hear.
Me neither.
What I hear online about it, but anyways, I think it's an interesting thing for younger people to think about. It's such a new time. Mac, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, just let us know about your camp coming up.
Okay, I will.
Page camp. It's in Page, right? Is it just a one single camp?
It's just one camp.
Okay.
Did you already mention it already?
Yeah, we mentioned.
You talked about it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Great.
So the NAU is hosting the camp. Her and NAU.
Uh-huh.
On the page.
So when do season tickets go on sale for NAU basketball?
I'm not sure, but I will definitely post about it online.
When does the season start? Or when was your first game, I guess?
It's gonna be in October. Yes, towards the end of October.
Mm-hmm.
Check out one of the games and we'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm an NAU alum as well.
Oh.
So they always send me emails about stuff. So, but now that we know that you're playing on the team, I'll have to look into getting season tickets for that.
Okay,
We'll try to make it over
cool.
as much as we can.
Thank you.
And maybe sort of, I guess maybe on our podcast, just kind of keep people updated on how NAU team is doing, and with yourself on it as well.
Were you
Okay.
able to play against Misha this past season?
Milicia?
Yeah.
Nuh-uh, we
No.
weren't.
Okay. Maybe this year, possibly.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right. We'll check it out.
Okay. Do you have anything else you'd like to say or mention anything?
Nope, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for for watching the podcast, and we want to thank you for coming on as well. I know it's a Sunday and it's very windy today. But anyways, hope everybody enjoyed it. Again, I will upload the audio version. So I know that I think about 20 minutes of this there was no audio for it. So I'll have to take the video and edit it and sync the audio up so that it matches the whole entire thing. If not, I'll upload the audio version so you can at least hear the whole thing. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, and have a good day, everybody.